Okay. Right. So observe now, we are trying to understand java.util.function package. Java.util package has several subpackages. Java.util package has several subpackages. Now look at that. Contains the collections framework, some internationalization support classes, a service loader, properties, random number generation, string parsing and scanning classes. Okay. So java.util package contains several classes. So now all these classes are organized into several packages. Look at that. It has java.util.concurrent package. We have seen concurrent API, copy and array list. Okay. So like that, there are, if you want to work with the concurrent API, you can use this package. And now java.util.function package, java.util.jar package, java.util.logging package. Okay, random package, regex package, SPI, stream. Like this, there are so many packages are there. Understand my point? Now, all these among these packages, now we are trying to understand two packages. First one is what? Function package, and second one is what? Stream package. How many packages are there? Two packages. Function package and stream package. Okay. Now, function package, what it is doing? Click on this. Now, look at that. Functional interfaces. All the people know what is functional interface, right? You know what is functional interface? An interface that has only one abstract method is called functional interface. Right. So functional interfaces provide target types for lambda expressions. Okay. Functional interfaces provide target types for lambda expressions. So target type is nothing but what? Referenced variable. Now I am creating lambda expression like this, right? I want to create lambda expression. This is the basic syntax of lambda expression. Now in order to call and execute lambda expression required method name, right? So the method name is available with lambda expression? No. So this lambda expression I must assign to one functional interface. So I need one reference variable. I need one reference variable to assign this lambda expression. Are you following? I need one reference variable to assign this lambda expression. That reference variable type, what is this type? This reference variable type is called what? Target type. So these target types are provided by whom? Come on. If you want to only listen, I will cancel the class. Shall I? I think you are not interested. Today is the last class. You know, right? If you are on bed, and only listening, then I will stop the class. I'll take afternoon 3 p.m. session. 3 p.m. session target is different. Threads, multi-threading, collections, remaining syllabus, you have to study your own. I'm not getting any response from the people. Come on, wake up. If I don't get response, I will remaining collection syllabus, I'll give assignment to you. Afternoon, I complete multi-threading. Come on, everyone, wake up. Get up from the bed. Sit in front of system properly. So what is the functional interface? What the use of functional interface? I am not ready to listen to worst fellow Rohit Kumar. I am saying reply. I want reply in the chat. I don't want listeners. I want speakers. Tell me, what is a functional interface? An interface that has only one abstract method is called functional interface. Number two, what the use of functional interface? Functional interface is used for implementing lambda expression and method references. Functional interface is used meant for developing lambda expression is used meant for developing I'm waiting for your response. Functional interface is meant for functional interface is the target type for developing lambda expression and method reference. First point, what is functional interface? What is the use of functional interface? Why functional interface? Functional interface is used to provide target types for developing lambda expression and method reference. Repeat again. Functional interface is meant for developing functional interface for providing target types for developing lambda expression and method reference. Right? Third, tell me, basically, what is the need of functional interface? Or basically, what is the need of functional interface and lambda expression? What is the basic need of? What is the basic need of functional interface and lambda expression? What is the basic need of functional interface and lambda expression? Come on, everyone. For developing functional program. Redundant. Krishna, where is redundant here, man? Basically, functional interface and lambda expressions are building blocks for developing functional programming. They are the building blocks for functional programming. They are the building blocks for functional programming. Understand? Next, fourth point. What is the need of functional programming, and what is the difference between object-oriented programming and functional programming? What is the need of functional programming, and what is the difference between object-oriented programming and functional programming? I have explained this topic clearly, right? Come on, fast. What is the need of functional programming? What is the difference between object-oriented programming and functional programming? Object oriented programming is meant for object oriented programming is meant for developing business logic. Bhargav. Object oriented program meant for developing business logic. What man? Logical programming meant for developing business logic. Object oriented programming meant for what? For encapsulation inheritance, we need to Jyoti. Jyoti Ranjan, are you boy or girl? Then why always you are giving wrong answers, man? I don't understand. One time also you are not giving right answer. You are replying in the class, but every time you are giving wrong answer. Why encapsulation inheritance required? Encapsulation inheritance are the features of object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming meant for creating real-world object in the programming world, right? Object-oriented programming for creating real-world object in the programming world. This is the main target by achieving what? Security to object data, code reusability, and dynamic binding. For these three topics, implementation purpose, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction required. For creating real-world object in the programming world, we need class interface, all those topics, right? We have object-oriented programming, two parts: class, variable, method, constructor, block, inner class, programming elements, and hook concepts: encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction. Clear? Then, what are the need of logical programming? Object-oriented programming, that much. Now, what the purpose of logical programming? Under object-oriented programming, two sections, what will come? For creating real-world object in programming world, class, variable, method, constructor, block, inner class. Okay. For developing security, what do you call? Encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction. For developing encapsulation, accessibility modifiers, setter methods, getter method. For developing inheritance, extends, implements keyword. For developing polymorphism, method overriding, method overloading, method overloading, constructor chaining, constructor overloading, constructor chaining, right? Then next, check. All people learn this. Today class is a revision come, new points. What else you learn? Abstract method, abstract class, interface. What else you learn? For achieving dynamic binding. Abstract method, abstract class, interface. For achieving dynamic binding, what we need? Coupling, cohesion, right? Coupling, cohesion, reflection API. Okay, all these concepts are meant for developing. Is all the stories, right? Give me 2 minutes, guys. So, can you hear me? Now tell me now. Here, these are the concepts we are using, and also we have to use instance, right? Also we have to use instances, and also we have to use what relations here to develop EJ has a relations. What we create now relation. Okay, right. So these are the concepts we are going to understand as part of object-oriented programming. So the main target of object-oriented programming, two parts. What are the two parts? Real-world object creation in the programming world, and second one, achieving security to object data, code reusability, and dynamic binding. Okay. Then now, as part of real-world object in the programming world, what you do? We will write class, variable, method, constructor, block, inner class, instances. With this, we create real-world object in the programming world. Okay, with these concepts, we create real-world objects in the programming world. And next, now security. For achieving security to object data and code reusability, we will develop encapsulation with abstract accessibility modifiers and setter getter methods. Okay, setter getter methods. And next, to develop what you call inheritance, means creating superclass to subclass. We create what? Extends and implements. And for developing polymorphism, we need method overriding, method overloading. Also, we can develop constructor overloading, constructor chaining. Then also we have learned what the keyword, super keyword, and this keyword. Super keyword for accessing members of subclass. This keyword meant for accessing members of current class, and also superclass if it is not hidden. Right. Then next. Now, how to achieve dynamic binding? For achieving dynamic binding, okay. For achieving dynamic binding means loose coupling and runtime polymorphism, right? For achieving dynamic binding, we need what? Abstract method, abstract class, interface, what do you call next? Coupling, cohesion, reflection, API. This all comes under what? Abstraction, right? So for achieving dynamic binding, we have to develop all these concepts. Is it clear? Right. Then next, what the purpose of logical programming? Tell me. What is the purpose of logical programming? Come on, guys, everyone. Logical programming meant for building logic or developing logic. What the meaning of developing logic? That will be generally business logic. According to one business, I want to develop logic. For bank business, one logic. For bank business, one logic. And for what? Ticket reservation, one logic. Hotel reservation, one logic. Okay. From one business to another business, logic is changing. When logic is changing, okay, I have to develop logic according to the project. For that, we need what concepts we need? Data types, operators, control flow statements. Next, exception handling statements. Okay, data types, operators, control flow statements, exception handling statements. All these are comes under what? Logics development, logical programming. Multi-threading is not logical programming. Understand my point? Now I develop logic. Tell me, I have developed logic. I want to develop logic. Can I develop logic directly? Not right. Not possible, right? We cannot develop logic directly. We required what? Class. Inside class, we required what? Method. Okay, we need a method. Inside method only, we can write logic. Understand? So now tell me, then next, if you want to pass this logic as an argument to a method, for example, I want to call this method. To call this method, what we require? We need a object of a class. A1 equal to new H. And then I call what? A1 dot M1. Okay, now? So what did I write? A1 equal to new A1 dot M1. Then tell me now. So if you write a class with a method and to call this, then this is object-oriented programming style. Right? All you people recollecting? This is object-oriented programming style. Then what people have identified, this object-oriented programming style become lengthy. Why it become lengthy? Because you have to create a class, you have to create a method, and you have to develop logic, and next you have to create object, and you have to call method. So it's a lengthy process because my target is only logic. Class is meant for what? Representing real world object. Class is meant for representing real world object. Tell me, here I'm not representing any real world object. No? Just I want write method and logic. Are you following my point? Just I want to create method and logic. That's it. Then for creating just method and logic, why I need class? Why I need object? Right? It's a lengthy process. For that purpose, people have invented a new programming style called what? Functional programming style. Are you catching my point? Functional programming style. As part of functional programming style, we got two building blocks. First one is what? Functional function interface. Abstract marker interface, functional interface, functional interface. Okay. We got a first building block called what? Functional interface. Second, we got lambda expression. First one is functional interface. Second one is lambda expression. Are you catching my point? Now tell me, what is functional interface? What is functional interface? An interface that has only one abstract method. That has only one abstract method is called functional interface. Yes or no? Now, can you give me one example now? First, you have to create an interface. Interface I1, open bracket, closed bracket. And then now I am creating method M1. And now this interface is called what? Functional interface. Is it clear? Then next tell me, what is lambda expression? Lambda expression is nothing but an implementation of this functional interface. Tell me, what is lambda expression? Lambda expression is nothing but an anonymous function. Lambda expression is an anonymous function. Okay. Now, why this anonymous function? I want to create a function, right? Function means what? Method, void m1. So if you want to call it as a function, it should not be inside a class. If you write inside a class, people call it as method. Now we are creating this function not inside a class. We are writing directly inside a method. Okay, now tell me. Now I wanted to call this function further. How can I call? Are you following my point? I want to call this function. Yeah, you can call directly like m1. But my requirement is whatever logic I have here, this logic I want to pass as a argument to a method. I want to pass as an argument to another method. Can I pass? In Java, we have to pass logic as an argument. Can I pass? How can I pass? Tell me. I want to call. You can call directly as m1. But I want to pass that method as an argument to another method. How can I pass? Here I need a parameter. Na? What the type of the parameter? Are you following? Next, I want to return. I want return. Let's say now return type. Why return type? Method name is what? M3. I want to return that method. How can I return? I can return a value. I can return an object, but I cannot return logic. I cannot pass logic. I cannot return logic. Already catching my point? If you wanted to pass this logic as an argument, I need a variable or not? Yes or no? I need a variable. That variable is nothing but interface variable. Already catching my point? If you want to pass a value as an argument to a method, I need a variable. So that variable is nothing but interface variable. So why interface came into picture? Why functional interface came into picture? Functional interface will provide target type to develop lambda expression. What is the lambda expression? Anonymous function. Now this return type I am removing, method name I am removing, and write only parenthesis. Anonymous function means no accessibility modifier, no return type, no execution level modifier, no return type, no method name, and only parameters will be there, body and logic will be there. How these are connected then? For connecting, to tell to compiler it is a lambda expression. What we are using? Parenthesis arrow mark. So this arrow mark is called what? Lambda operator. Are you following? Then what we write? We are storing the logic. Because we are storing logic, there is no method here. Why the syntax is designed? No accessibility modifier, no method name and all. Because we need to store this logic. Okay, not to make easy and all here. We need to store it, right? To store, how can we take return type and all? That's why the name accessibility modifier, return type all removed. Why Sun Microsystem removed that method prototype? They removed prototype for the reason this logic has to be stored inside a variable. If a full syntax is there here, how can we store? Not possible. Understand? Now here, what happened? This entire logic is storing inside a variable. Now, what is the type of this variable? This variable type must be what? I1. Okay, now this I1 is what? One functional interface. So what is a functional interface? A functional interface provides, what the use of functional interface? Functional interface is used to provide target types for developing lambda expression and functional interface. I mean, lambda expression method reference. All you guys understand? Come on, guys. Up to now, understand all people? Then tell me, how can we execute this logic? What the name of this logic? All people tell me. Now, this should be a logic, right? And it is a function or not? Yes. A function should have a name or not? Yes. What the name of that function? The name of the function you are defining inside functional interface. Why functional interface should contain only one method? Tell me. Why one more method if it's there? What is the problem? If one more method is there, this implementation is first method implementation or second method implementation? Confusion, right? All are you understanding? Everyone understood why functional interface allows only one abstract method? Why multiple abstract methods are not allowed? Because why? Because functional interface is a target type to a method implementation, a target type to anonymous function interface implementation. To implement anonymous function, what the name will become? Name will become from interface. Interface doesn't have a name. Correct? Hope you all understand now why functional interface has only one method. Tell me how to call this logic to execute. For that, you have to use var dot, that variable name dot. Can I take variable name as I1? Can I take variable name as I1? And here I'm taking variable name as I1. Then tell me, I want to pass this logic as an argument to this method. How to pass? Now I have to take what here? Parameter. Okay. What the parameter I have to take here? I1. And I'm taking any parameter name I1. Okay. And here what I should write here? I1 dot M1. Understood? Next. Now I need to take return type here. What is the return type I take here? I1. And tell me what I should return now. Can I return lambda expression here now? Return. Everyone should tell me. Return parenthesis arrow open bracket close bracket. Right? Then whatever the logic is available here, that logic is returning. So finally tell me what the use of lambda expression. Lambda expression is used for passing logic as passing. How to call this M2 method? Tell me. M2 method, can I directly take like parenthesis, arrow, open bracket, closed bracket, and logic? Yes or no? Lambda expression is used for passing logic as argument to a method directly and return from a method directly without having explicit class. So functional interfaces are used for creating a target types. Functional interfaces are for providing target type for developing lambda expression method reference. Can I hope all people understand two styles of programming? What is the object-oriented programming? By using object-oriented programming, what you used to? By functional programming, what you do? In object-oriented programming, to develop small function also, we have to develop a class and we have to create an object. We have to, we have to create instance. Whereas if you take functional programming, we can directly develop logic. But by developing logic, how can I store it? How can we pass? How can I return? We need one target type. The target type is nothing but anonymous, functional interface. Hope you all understand up to now. Can you please check once all points clear? What is functional interface? Why functional interface? What the basic need of functional interface and lambda expression? The basic need of functional interface lambda expression for developing functional programming to pass a method as logic, a logic as argument and return type from a method directly without creating explicit class and without creating explicit class and what calls instance. Okay, now what is the difference between object-oriented programming and functional programming? Object-oriented programming meant for creating real-world object in programming world. As part of object-oriented programming, every variable and method we have to create inside a class. Further, we have to create instance for accessing them. Whereas in functional programming, what are you doing? We are not creating explicit class for implementing logic, and we no need to create separate object for passing the object logic. We can directly pass logic as argument to a method, return from a method. But for developing logic to pass as an argument and return, we need one special concept called what? Functional interface. So up to now, everyone comfortable? Shall I proceed next points? Okay, tell me. Functional interface is meant for everyone. New point I'm trying. Okay, just now up to now I gave you revision. Now onwards I'm teaching new point. Functional interface is used for declaring one function to implement lambda expression or method reference. Is my point clear? Check once. Functional interface is used for declaring one function to implement lambda expression and method reference. Give me 1 minute, guys. Mobile is one place, I am one place. So students are, unable to join the class. They're sending messages, calls. I'm helping them to join the class. Okay, finally, functional interface is used for declaring one function to implement what? Lambda expression and method reference. Hope you understand this. Tell me, that function is what? Now we have to analyze the function. Tell me, I need one functional interface, say I1, in every project. Now, this function is meant for what? This function is meant for, very important, developing one mathematical operation only now. Okay, tell me, is functional interface representing any object operation? No. Very, very important point. Note, functional interface doesn't represent object operation like deposit, withdraw. Okay, doesn't represent object operation. It represents only what? Math operation. It represents only math operation, right? Functional interface, it doesn't represent object operation and it represents only mathematical operation. Is it clear, guys? Then, according to mathematics, from the day beginning of the course, I am telling, according to math, we will develop. Come on, guys. Everyone, try to recollect. According to maths, we will develop logic for the given number. For the given number, yes or no? For the given number for performing one operation. For the given number for performing one operation. For performing one operation. For example, what? Add two numbers. It is a mathematical operation or not? Add two numbers. Next, subtract two numbers. Find percentage of a given number. Next, find percentage of a given number. Come on. Next, filter. One filter means what? Sort. Not sort. Filter means extract. I can say extract. Filter or extract one kind of values among multiple among a group of values. Okay, filter or extract one kind of values from among a group of values. Okay, and I can say return. I can also, this is also one kind of operation. Return alternative value for a given value. Alternative value for a given value. So I'm giving one value, it's alternative value. For example, now I am giving you, so for example, let's say 101. Okay, what is this 101? Student number. The student number belongs to which course I want. Okay, given number is student number. The student number return course of the given student number. The student number course I want to return. So this kind of operation. So all these operations are comes under what? All these operations are comes under what? Mathematical operation. Okay, let's say finding given number, even or odd. Finding given number, even or odd. All these concepts are comes under what? Mathematical operation. So to implement these mathematical operation, I required some inputs now. That inputs can be a normal value or can be, okay, I need arguments, right? I need to implement these operations, I need inputs. And once the operation is performed, once operation is completed, I should return result. Okay, right. Now, here interface I1. Now tell me, void M1. If I write like this, is it useful method, useful functional interface? Everyone, come on. Is it a useful functional interface? Is it a reusable functional interface? Are you guys able to hear me? Come on, tell me. Is this functional interface is a reusable functional interface? Is it a useful functional interface? Yes or no? Is it a useful, reusable functional interface or not? Yes, sir. How, Ravi? If you want to say one method is a reusable, what I told, it must be a non-void parameterized method. Na? If it doesn't have any parameter, on which value it should develop logic? That's what I am asking, Bhaiya. This method implement operation for which value, Rohit? This method implement logic for which value? It is a functional interface. Functional interface should represent one function. Am I right? Then it representing which mathematical operation? There should be some input, right? Okay, there is no parameter. Next. Now I'm taking another functional interface. Think. Interface. I'm writing I2. Now I'm taking a parameter here, object obj. Any type of value I want to take. Your wish. You pass any type of value. Tell me now. I am asking you to pass any type of value. Now tell me, is it a reusable? Yes. I am developing logic for the given argument. I am developing this operation for the given value. And after giving value, what am I doing? I can do whatever I want. Either I display or store in file or database. Are you following? Display or store in a file or store in a database. I can do whatever I want. So tell me, is it a reusable or not? 5 minutes. Next 5 minutes, most important. All you participate. I told you today is Sunday. I'm spending extra time for you to complete your syllabus. And this is additional syllabus which you need to learn. If you are not replying, simply I will close the session and I'll go. This topic you can understand only when you involve. If you don't involve, you will not understand. Interface, I3 I am taking. Okay, I3 I am taking. Tell me, now this M1 method, I am taking this method now based on the given value. Okay, based on the given value, if this value is expected value, then I want to return Boolean value. Can I take like this? If the past value is even number, return true. If the past value is not even number, return false. If the given value within 1 to 10, return true, else return false. If the given string is uppercase, given true, else return false. Right? Can I do some checking operation on the given value? Here, what operation I am doing? Displaying or storing or displaying or storing. Okay. So here I am taking argument and I'm checking that argument is valid or not. If the given argument is valid, return true, else returns what? False. Can I take like this? Next, one more interface I'm taking. Okay, take the value, do some calculation, generate result and return that result. Generate some result and return that result. I'll catch my point. So first interface is reusable or not reusable? Not reusable, because there is no return type, there is no parameter. So this is not reusable. I am removing it. Okay. Then second interface is reusable. Take the value and perform some operation on that value, either display or store. Next, second interface is reusable. Why? Because it is taking value and then checking that value valid or not. If valid, return true, else return false. Next, third interface is valid or not? Yes. Now, why? It is useful because it's reusable. It taking value, doing some calculation and return the result. Now, fourth interface I am taking, I am not taking any value. Okay, I am not taking any value, but I will return value. You ask me, I will return some value. That value, maybe I'll take from the file or maybe take from the, okay, I'll take from the file or take from the database. Okay, so returning value that is from the file, return a value from a file or from a database. Okay, now all people understand the three interfaces. Everyone, did you understand these four interfaces? Tell me, these four interfaces, Can I build any logical program? With these four interfaces, can I build any logical program? Yes or no? Give me more 5 minutes. Not 5 minutes, just give me 2 minutes. Thank you. So sorry for troubling you again and again. Now tell me here what I written: interface I1, interface I2, interface I3, interface I4. Tell me, by using these four interfaces, can I develop any functional programming? Can I develop any mathematical logic? Come on, come on. Can I develop any mathematical logic? Come on, guys. No one is replying. So what? Understood or not understood? Up to now, what I explained. Are you guys hear me? Understood or not understood? If not, I'll explain again. If understood, let us go to next point. So by using these four interfaces, yeah, Shyam, what is your doubt? Did you join late or did you join late? Then join late means how can I explain again? I cannot explain again. Take light. Other students who joined early, people who are staying in the class up to the first point, what is functional programming onwards, who are there? If you have any questions, please ask. So already we are in a flow, right? I cannot again explain all points. Already it's 1 hour over. Come on, guys, all people who are joined from the beginning already there. So what is the target of functional interface? Functional interface target is developing functional programming. Functional programming means what? Developing mathematical logic. Mathematical logic to develop, what we require? Do we need any class? Not required. Yes or no? Class is meant for representing object. For developing mathematics, what we require? Values. So how can I take values? I can take values as parameter, or I can return value. Yes or no? Tell me. So these four interfaces, come on, everyone should answer. Are these four interfaces? Are these four interfaces will help us to implement any mathematical function? Yes or no? Yes or no? No. Why? It is working only with one parameter, no? It is working with only one parameter, right? Now I need two parameters also. Okay, object. Can I call it as a value in place of object? Object value 1 comma object value 2. Object value 1 comma object value. Object value 1 comma object value. Sir, if I want 3 values, sir, I want 4 values, sir, I want 5 values, sir. Come on. In maths, maximum we'll work with the 2 values only. Adding 2 numbers, subtracting 2 numbers, right? Maximum will work with the 2 values only. Listen. These are the fixed functional interfaces in every project we need. Yes or no? First project, second project, third project. Every project requires these functional interfaces. When these functional interfaces are required for every developer, who has to write these interfaces? For every project, we need these functional interfaces to implement lambda expression. Then who will develop it? Sun Microsystem. So Sun Microsystem has developed these 4 interfaces, make them available to reuse in our projects. Instead of we declaring them, Sun Microsystem define them. Following up? Now tell me, what is this interface name? What this interface is doing? Interface is taking the taking the object, and it is using it. The past value is using either for displaying or for storing in file or for storing in database. That means what it is doing? It is consuming. What is it doing? Consuming. So interface name is what? Consumer. Okay. And what it is doing? As a consumer, I am accepting that object. I am accepting. So method name is what? Accept. So now, what is the first functional interface we are learning? Consumer. Consumer is used for accepting one value and consuming that value as part of our method logic. The consuming operation can be display operation or store in a file or in a database operation. Following up? First point, all you people clear? Second, what it is doing? It is taking object, verifying that object. If object is correct, then return Boolean true or false. Okay, it is taking that value and verifying it is correct or not. According to math, something it is take the value and verify is called what? Predicate. Boolean value function. Boolean value function according to maths, what we call? Predicate. Boolean value function is called what? Predicate. Now here, what the return type? Boolean. So what the method name here? M1 method name place what you call? Test. So we are testing the given value valid or not. If the given value is valid, returns true. If given value is not valid, returns false. Everyone understand? Next, what this function is doing? It is taking the value, performing some operation, and what it is doing? Returning that value, returning some result. That means it is taking input and also returning. Then can I name it? Come on guys, can I name it? I cannot name it like consumer, like predicate, because what operation is doing? Any functional mathematical operation it is doing. Am I right? What is doing? It is doing any functional operation that is mathematical operation. That's why this interface name is what? Function. Okay, now? So what the functional interface names? Consumer, predicate, function. Next, what this interface is doing? This interface, is it taking anything? No. Is it returning any value? Yes. I am asking this interface, please give me some value. Tell me, according to business, according to if you go any market, any shop, you have one shop person is ordering to one vendor for products. Then that person who giving that products to you is called what? One person taking lorry and then keep on distributing the products to different shops. That person is called what? Supplier. Yeah, he is supplying the products to the shops. So he's called what? Supplier. Understand? So tell me, these four interfaces together, called what? Functional API. Understand that? These four interfaces together called what? Functional API. So what is functional API? A collection of functional interfaces, meant for developing what? Lambda expressions and method references is called functional API. All these interfaces are given in a package called java.util.concurrent. Java.util.concurrent. Clear my point? So these are called functional API and these are available in java.util.concurrent package. A collection of functional interfaces, those are meant for developing lambda expressions and method references is called functional API. So in this package, totally, how many functional interfaces are there? 43. Sir, you told 4, but you are telling 43. Confused, sir. Confused? 43. Look at here. Here 4, here 4, right? Tell me. Here more 3, na? 4 to 3, concat. 43. Easy not to remember. 4 to 3, 43. Now, what is this interface? This interface is consumer. How many objects it is consuming? 2 objects. Then this is called by consumer. Operator, unary operator, binary operator there, na? And now guess remaining 2 interface names. Next interface, it is taking 2 objects and checking those 2 objects are valid or not. Then what we call it as? By predicate. Right? Next, it is taking 2 values and doing calculation and returning the result. What we call it as? By function. Easier functional programming. So easy, budget topic, right? By consumer, by predicate, by function. Clear, everyone? Come on, guess. You have to remember minimum one more functional interface you have to remember. Actually, it's not by, it is Boolean supplier. It's a Boolean supplier. Boolean supplier. Now what it returns? It supplies only Boolean value. It is returns only true false. It doesn't take any value, returns true false. So totally, yeah. These 8 functional interfaces minimum you have to remember. 99% of programming will go around these 8 functional interfaces. Totally, how many functional interfaces are there? 43. What the 43? Let us try to understand. Ready? Yeah? So I hope you got clarity on what I have explained up to now. Everyone? Tell me, whenever I say functional programming or functional lambda expression, immediately what thought should come to your mind? Acha, I need a functional interface. Should I create my functional interface? Not required. Already required functional interfaces are given in java.util.function package. How many functional interfaces are there in that package? 43 functional interfaces are there. Should I practice learn all 43? Not required. How many minimum required? How many minimum required? Minimum we should learn 8 functional interfaces. What are they? Let us try to order them in a proper way for by hearting purpose. First one is what? Consumer, supplier, You can first you practice with what? Predicate, consumer, supplier, function. Okay, now predicate. First one is what? Predicate. Second one is what? Supplier. Predicate, supplier, predicate, consumer, supplier, and then what? Function. Next, by predicate. Next, by consumer, Boolean supplier, and then by function. Tell me, when I should use predicate for checking given value, right or wrong? Right? For checking given value, right or wrong? Let me take them here. Can you please try to think what the points about these functional interfaces? Please prepare the function, when to use which interface. Just prepare one statement. Okay, predicate for checking given value. Correct or wrong. Next. And can I say for performing filtering operations? Rama. For performing filtering operation, I want to extract some values. I have a group of values. In that group of values, I wanted to extract some expected value. This value is correct, then I want to take it out. Otherwise, I don't want. I want to ignore. If you want to extract, that means what? Performing filtering or extracting operation. Remember, whenever I say filtering, that is what? Extracting. Filtering or extracting operations means checking given value wrong. Next. Next what? Consumer. Consumer, what it is doing? What is the purpose of consumer? Consumer meant for consuming given values or given object. Either for displaying or for storing. So consumer for meant for displaying or for storing. Next, tell me, supplier meant for what? Supplier meant for returning a value or an object. Yes or no? Next, function. Tell me, for function, for the purpose of function, for taking values as argument, doing calculations, generating result, and returning that result. Okay, for taking values as an argument, values are objects. It can be value or it can be object. You have to by heart, sir. You have to by heart and remember these points. Then only you can do the program. For taking values or objects as an argument, value, not all value, sorry. For taking value or object as an argument, then doing what? Calculations, generating result, and return that result. Understand my point? Next, tell me, by predicate. What the meaning of by predicate? Same operation it will do, right? Predicate operation with two values. Same operation, just two values. So I don't want to write and waste the time. Hope you all understand now, up to now. Shall we try to see complete functional interface package? Yeah. So we'll see, go for tiffin break, okay? And now please read these points. Why we have 43 functional interfaces? Let us try to understand. Each functional interface has a single abstract method called the functional method. Okay, now? For interface, functional method for that functional interface, to which the lambda expressions parameter and return types are matched or adopted. Functional interfaces can provide target types in multiple contexts such as assignment context, method invocation context, or casting context. Okay, this is what assignment context. This is what argument context. And this is what type casting context. So different places we can use functional interface. Come on, functional interface is interface. Wherever regular interface can be used, there we can use functional interface. Next, the interfaces in the package are general purpose functional interfaces used by the JDK. These are general purpose. General purpose means what? For every regular programming we can use. There and here, everywhere we can use. The interface in this package are general purpose functional interface used by the JDK and are available to be used by the user code as well. Even you can also use. They are using inside JDK software, JDK API, and also you can also use. While they don't identify a complete set of function shapes to which lambda expressions might be adopted, they provide enough to cover common requirements. Understand my point? So these functional interfaces are providing common requirements for all the projects. Other functional interfaces provide for specific purpose, such as file filter, are defined in the package where they are used. There are two types of functional interfaces are there. Some functional interfaces are provided common to all projects, all operation. Some functional interfaces are provided specific to for particular operation. For example, in this package, java.util.function package, all functional interfaces are common to all projects, all programs. Okay, but there are some functional interfaces which are defined in other package, specific package. For example, you take runnable. Runnable is a functional interface. It has only one method called run. So runnable is a functional interface. Comparable is a functional interface. Comparator is a functional interface. These interfaces are given in a specific package like java.lang page, java.util package. They are not common to all programs. They are meant for particular operation to implement according to the one particular API. Then, for example, he is given file filter. File filter belongs to IO package. In IO package, you will understand it. Okay. If you want to filter some operation, then we have to use, if you want to filter some files or directories available in our directory, then we can use file filter. In IOStream chapter, this program I gave, but not explained programmatically. I will explain you that. Okay. I will cover this file filter today. Okay. Next. The interface in this package are annotated with functional interface. Anybody remember why? Because these interfaces should not contain multiple functional, abstract methods in future too. This annotation is not representing for the compiler to, this interface is not requirement for the compiler to recognize interface as a functional interface, but merely an aid to capture design intent and enlist the help of the compiler in identifying accident violations of design intent. What the point is they're telling? If you want to create functional interface, at the rate functional interface annotation is mandatory. No, we can create just interface with a one function, one abstract method. Then we call it as what? Functional interface. Then why this method is given? I mean, why this annotation is given? So accidentally, if you add any more method to get compile time error, that's it. Like at the rate override annotation. Functional interfaces often represent abstract concepts like functions, actions, predicates. The documenting functional interfaces are variable set type as a functional interface. Okay. The functional interfaces in this package follow an extensible naming conventions as follows. Okay. There are several basic function shapes, including function, unary function from T to R. T means argument type, R means return type. Consumer, unary function from T to void, take the type argument and don't return anything. Predicate, unary function from, unary means what? One parameter. One parameter is unary. Unary function from T to boolean, taking one argument returns boolean. And supplier, nullary function to R. Nullary means what? No parameter. No parameter is called what? Nullary to return type. So first section is what? Unary functions, which will take parameter return type. Then next one is what? Function shapes have a natural arbitrary based on how they are most commonly used. The basic shapes can be modified by an arity prefix to indicate a different arity, such as by function. Arbitrary means what here? 0 to n number. Okay, no? Arbitrary or arbitrary. Okay, 0 to n. By function. Binary function T to T and U to R. And two parameters to one return type. Next, there are additional derived function shapes which extend the basic function shapes, including unary operator and binary operator. Okay, you want to work with one parameter unary, two parameters binary. The type parameters of the function interface can be specialized to primitive types. For example, if you take by function take what type of value? Any type. If you take consumer, what type of value? It will take any type. But I want a particular primitive type. Okay, now then the specialized return type for a type that has both generic return type and generic argument with prefix with what? 2xx, like 2 int function. Okay, I want to convert, if I want to develop a function which will convert the given value to int. I want int return type, 2 int return type, like that. Observe now all the list of functional interface, you understand. Please read by your own. I don't read. If you read, you will understand. By consumer, by function. binary operator, by predicate, Boolean supplier, consumer, Boolean binary operator, double consumer, double function, double predicate. Okay, I will do one thing. All these functional interfaces, I will list out in a proper order and I'll upload to the Google Classroom for your easy understand. Okay, now? So these are all given in alphabetical order. Alphabetical order remembering is very difficult. I have already ordered those, that order file is there in our class system. I will share once I come back to Hyderabad. Okay, now? So shall we start program? So finally, what is the conclusion we got today? I have completed, no, not today, just in this one session, I completed functional API. What is functional API? So a set of interfaces given for set of functional interfaces given to develop lambda expression and method references is called functional API. Functional API basically meant for providing target types to lambda expression and method reference to develop. Is it clear? Second point. How many functional interfaces we have? We have totally 43 functional interfaces are there. 43 functional interfaces are there. Among them, what are the functional interfaces are main important functional interfaces? 4. What are the 4? Consumer, predicate, function, supplier. And these 4 are contain other forms or what? Other forms also there. The other forms are what? Where is this? By consumer, by predicate, by function, Boolean supplier. I have a question, sir. Do I need to remember method name? The functional interface method names, should I remember or not? Yes. If you need to call that method, you should remember. Correct my point? If you need to call that method, you have to remember. For example, I am passing this functional interface as an argument to a method. I am not calling this function. I am only responsible for implementing it. I am responsible only for implementing it and passing it as an argument. Then do I need to remember the method names? Not required. All you guys understand what I'm saying? So where we use these functional interfaces? These functional interfaces we don't use in our regular program. We will use these functional interfaces for developing collection programming stream API. Okay, as part of stream API and as part of collection programming, we are going to use for developing for each method for stream API as part of collection programming in retrieving operation from the collection, we are going to use all these interfaces. Okay, so that's what we are going to learn in the second half. So can I expect all people got some idea on functional interfaces? Can you answer to the interviewer why functional interfaces? When I should use functional interfaces? How many predefined functional interfaces? Among them, very important. Interviewer compulsory will ask a question. What is consumer? What is predicate? What is supplier? What is function? Definitely he will ask. Okay, na? Okay. At what time you want? You can come back after completing tiffin. It's 9:10. Can you come by 9:30? 9:30 to 11 we'll complete stream API. I don't think so that much time. (9:30 to 10:30). 1 hour is maximum sufficient. 1 hour also max. Okay, then we'll go for map implementation classes. Okay. By 11 we'll complete map and map implementation classes, and we'll take a tea break at 11:15. 11:15 to 1 we will complete map internals. So how the map is implemented, okay, and purpose of the map, I mean hash map how it is implemented. It's compulsory asking question. Hash map internals compulsory asking question. Okay guys, if you don't have doubts you can leave, and if any of you have doubts up to now what I discussed, please ask. I'll explain. If you join late, I cannot explain again, buddy. You join on time. Yesterday I told you set alarm, right? I said set alarm and then sleep, but you ignored my statement. If you have any doubts in this session, 1 hour session, please ask. If no doubts, you can leave. Session will be there. It's running, and join by 9:30. Resumed at 9:30. Hey, AM Ray, not PM. Session will be open. Okay, I am doing some my work. I already finished my tiffin before 8 only. So I am working something. Voice will not come.